intervention, prevention, and response strategies, with particular attention and concern, of course, of the youth. 24/7 hotlines to provide assistance to individuals with mental health conditions, especially those individuals at risk of committing suicide, shall set up and, and any existing hotlines should be strengthened. Hence, I'm going to the introduction of our hotline. Hence, in order to address such a challenge, the Department of Health, through the NCMH, embarked on a program that is of national scale, with a goal in mind of addressing and helping people in crisis to prevent them from resorting to suicide and restore their mental health equilibrium. Now, the NCMH 24/7 crisis hotline was the center's response to that challenge. And through close collaboration with other agencies from both private and public sector, was launched on May 2, 2019. And it was attended by our Secretary, Francisco Duque of the Department of Health. Now, to give you an overview of the NCMH crisis hotline, under this program, the hotline will work to address individuals and their families' mental health needs through phone and will provide the necessary intervention as needed. Intervention can come in many forms, such as motivational interviewing, supportive and brief intervention, but those who are in need of immediate psychiatric help will have the opportunity to be handled by an on-call psychiatrist for direct intervention, if necessary. The end goal of the program is to stabilize and direct the caller to the necessary mental health professional for both short and long-term management. Now, it is the hope of the hotline also to bridge other hotlines and train professionals as the need arises. This is part of the networking and collaborative capacity. Consultative and collaborative efforts are being done to incorporate as many service providers as possible, both from government and the private sector. This would further enhance our capacity in order to service more clientele nationwide and beyond. Just to give you a brief census, the NCMH 24/7 hotline was inaugurated last May, and for May 1 to September 30, we had received 1,880 calls. The mean age, as I've said, was 20 to 24. The location, 1/3 of 1/8, around 600 calls came from NCR. For your benefit, Iloilo had 13 calls only. 11 calls are of international, meaning a call came from Australia, Canada, of course, Dubai, from our OFW, Qatar, and Korea. The time of call, very important. It is equal, no, for the time. Ang ibig ko sabihin, kahit 12 midnight, may 20 calls pa din. No? But majority would be at the 10 to 11 a.m. and at the 10 to 11 p.m. night. The call duration is an average of 15 minutes. And the reason is, number one would be inquiry. Nagtatanong kung saan sila makakuha ng service. And the number two reason is calling for someone, which is okay para sa amin. May kaibigan kasi akong ganito, no? Calling for someone. Alright? So, number third would be suicide, and number three would be possible depression. Number four, okay? Risk assessment of the callers is half of them are low, and then moderate to high risk is the half. Okay? Now, the sources of info, or why from where did they get the numbers, no? Of course, it would be the social media, meaning the Facebook, Twitter, no, internet access. Okay? To continue, it is the long-term plan of the National Center for Mental Health to come up with a manual on how to start, operate, and maintain a crisis hotline for use of other agencies outside of Metro Manila. The establishment of more hotlines, especially on the different regions of the country, will address the problem of cultural, regional, and of course, the language barrier in order to further help and assist more Filipinos who are in the state of crisis. Okay. So we, at the National Center for Mental Health, very happy and very thankful for your support as far as this endeavor is concerned. Although that's by the DOH payments, which will allow 6 callers simultaneously accessing the hotline number. A call center type of system will be procured early next year to allow us a more sophisticated way of delivering our service with due respect to everyone's privacy. More importantly, our responders are subjected to continuous training and monitoring to assure a quality and more effective service delivery to each and every caller. So, although the NCMH crisis hotline is in infantile stages, let me assure everybody that we have been doing what we have been doing in the past. The NCMH will continue to find ways in serving the Filipino people who are in need of mental health intervention. So, let us work together in saving lives, not just by preventing suicide, but also in bridging our countrymen in need of mental health care. As such, there is really no health without mental health, right? So, using the line from our hotline, kamusta ka, tara, usap tayo. Kami po ay handang makinig, no? Congratulations first to the organizers of this annual Mental Health Summit. Thank you very much and a pleasant day to each and everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Reyes, for sharing with us the updates. We will be presenting the flag of appreciation. Department of Health, Center for Health Development, Western Visayas awards this flag of appreciation to Noel Reyes, MD, FPPA, for extending his technical expertise during the Mental Health Summit given this 24th of October 2019 at Punta Villa Resort, Arevalo, Iloilo City. Signed, Marlene W. Confocar, MD, MPH, CESO 3, Director 4. Ms. Jennifer May, Program Health Officer of Department of Health, Center for Health Development, Western Visayas, will introduce our next speaker on the topic medical marijuana.
Good morning, everyone. Our first lecturer for today is a fellow of the Philippine Psychiatric Association. He obtained a degree of Doctor of Medicine from the University of Santo Tomas and has completed his psychiatric residency training at the National Center for Mental Health. He earned his master's in hospital administration from the University of the Philippines College of Public Health in 1994 and obtained his career executive service officer rank 4 in 1999. He has worked with government agencies and NGOs on various community mental health projects, both in local and international settings. He was also the Medical Center Chief 2 of the National Center for Mental Health from 1998 to 2008. He championed patients' rights and worked for the international recognition of the Center through participation in the various researches and international fora such as the ASEAN Mental Health Task Force and the APEC. He is currently a psychiatric consultant of Metro Psych Facilities, or Roads and Bridges to Recovery, and the Philippine Mental Health Association. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a warm welcome and a round of applause to our first lecturer, Dr. Bernardino A. Vicente.
I will be dispensing with the pleasantries, no? Kasi I have 165 slides. Baka hindi tayo matapos and I'm given only, I think, 30 minutes. So let me go straight to the topic of medical marijuana. Can I have my slides, please? Saka I'll dispense of that one, makakapit ako. Saka makita ko yung... Okay. Okay, anyway, I have 3 topics under medical marijuana. Ayan na pa. Okay. So basically, ang outline ng presentation ko is I will talk about marijuana in general, how it's used and development through the years, and then talk about House Bill 6570, which is the medical marijuana compassionate medical cannabis act, no, which has been already approved sa Congress. And then finally, talk about the position ng the medical society with regards to that hospital bill. So, okay. So that's the outline. Nabi yung outline. 3 items lang ang sasabihin ko. It's about yung cannabis, no, compassionate medical cannabis act, and the position of the medical group. So, very quick. No? Marami akong slides. These are the 3 varieties. Dati, ganyan ang varieties. No? But because nag-hybrid na tayo, there are many other varieties that are coming out in the market. So, marami. And the marijuana or cannabis can grow in your backyard. Tapong ka lang ng seeds, it can grow. No? But it's now also being potted. No? Potted plants yan. Can be grown in laboratories. And you can also use hydroponics, no, to grow marijuana. No? And lately, meron na tayong mga hybrid forms. No? Hybrid, you can create a strain of marijuana that has a lot of, yung percent niya ng THC, which is the psychoactive ingredient, mas mataas than the non-psychoactive ingredients, which is called cannabidiol, CBD for short. So maraming hybrid. So iba-iba na ang itsura ng marijuana minsan ngayon. No? Iba-iba na. Okay? And now, you have marijuana that is also genetically engineered. Kaya ng genetically engineered. And Monsanto, no? In agribusiness, no? Ayan, nakapag-genetically engineered na sila ng marijuana. And so you have what's called Monsanto pot. Monsanto pot. They're highly potent. Mas malalakas na pot ngayon. So, if you tried marijuana in the past, hindi ganyan katulad ngayon ng marijuana that is coming out. No? Okay? And you have what's called killer seeds. To capture the market, no, Monsanto has cultivated yung what's called killer seeds. No? You buy the killer seeds from Monsanto, they give you the seeds, you plant it, they buy their product, they buy your product, but yung marijuana plantation mo will not produce seeds. So you have to buy again from them. Yun yung sistema. And they captured that market. Kasi nga, because of science ngayon, you can do many things. No? Well, this is how marijuana is dried. Pabaliktad na yun, they will be dried. No? And it can be used in many ways. No? From smoking it, no? From using it in a water pipe, from you have tinctures, you have extracts ng oil, you can bake it. No? Many ways of doing it. No? Okay? Most common is to roll a joint. or what you call blunts. No? Blunts. No? Pag ni-roll mo na rolling paper. No? Okay? And or you can smoke it in a pipe. Papipe mo siya. Okay? So, different kinds of pipe. More popular are the glass pipes. No? Different designs. Ang dami ng designs. Talagang maganda na itsura niya. No? Kita mo. Kasi pipe. No? Okay. Ball pen. Para handy. Dala-dala mo lang. No? Pag gusto mo mag-marijuana. No? Okay. Okay. And they can also come in this form. Yung extract na. And, or you can bake it using the ingredient itself. The vape mo. And it is said that vaping, this is the best temperature. Pag hinitik mo kasi, itong temperature na makukuha mo. You don't get all the marijuana or the cannabis or THC. No, you get all the impurities, so forth, so on. So sabi nila, you vape it at this temperature, it's more effective. Mas maganda. Or what you call the sweet spot. No. Sweet spot. Alam mo yung sweet spot? Those who play tennis. Pag tinamami yung bola dun sa tamang-tamang lugar, it's called the sweet spot. You have a sweet spot also for marijuana. And the old thing that you do is when you inhale the smoke ng marijuana is you re-retain mo ganun. Re-retain mo yung uso kasi the concept is that the longer you keep the smoke, the more marijuana you get. No. The concept is now, pag ginanin mo, ang cannabinoids yung nakuha mo. All the tar, all the impurities sa mo. But now, it is known that you have 95% will be absorbed in the first few puffs. So, ang tip, what is the tip? Paunti yung hilang inhale. Yun lang. Yan, lang tama. Bug mo lang. No? Para mas malakas at tama. Because 95%. So, you remember, yung science na yun. Di ba? Nag-improve tayo. Okay. So, here is vaping. Vaping it. Okay. Another instrument for vaping. And here is my cousin, vaping it. Okay. And you can have water pipes. No? The mechanism is you put the marijuana here, you burn it there, it goes to a water, and then you inhale it. No? Okay. So it can be like this, or it can be elaborate as this. No? And you can also cook marijuana. No? The most common way is to cook it with brownies. So you get butter. Turuan ko pa kayo, yung recipe. You melt butter, no? Melt butter and then put the marijuana leaves in the butter. Parang sinusutay mo. No? And then a little bit brown na and crispy. Bumili ka ng brownies, you mix it, and then bake it. You have what you call brownies. And that's why in the States, marami silang accident children because of marijuana, edible marijuana. Maraming mga children na nadadali dun sa products na yun. No? Okay. Or you can also drink it as a tea. No? Use it. You ilaga mo, it will become a tea, and then you can drink it. Take a look at how they advertise it. No? Benefits, they say may benefits. No? Okay. Pag sinerch mo yung internet, take a look at cannabis, you see all the benefits of it. Ang dami mas benefits than the harm it does. No? And you can also infuse it in olive oil and use it for cooking. Para yung family mo, kulang kayo lahat. No? Well, marijuana is still Schedule 1. Pag sinabi Schedule 1 drug, no? wala siyang medical use talaga. There is no, without medical Schedule 1. In the Philippines, Schedule 1 pa rin siya. In the US, Schedule 1 pa rin siya. No? And it's still supposed to be illegal pa rin. Illegal. No? And generally, it's regarded as a pleasurable and relaxing without a drug, without addictive dangers like opioid, and ATS is yung shabu nyo. And it was in 1964, the active psychoactive ingredient was isolated. And in 1990, nalaman natin that there is an endocannabinoid system, an internal marijuana in ourselves, or an internal cannabis system that we produce. Okay? And in 1995, California was the first, the ata 16 na, I think 44 states ata, first state that legalized it for medical use. Okay? So, traditionally, it's classified simply as this. Marijuana can be used for medical purposes, recreational purposes, and spiritual purposes. Okay? Itong pag-uusapan natin. So, generally, loosely defined, when you use marijuana to treat an illness, medical marijuana. Okay. Yun, wala naman kasi talagang definition. There's no correct definition. But the law, mayroong definition later, which I will show you. Okay? Ito lang definition ng medical cannabis. This is based on House Bill 6517. So, basically, what it's saying is hindi mo lang ginamit in its raw form. And you say that accurately concentration, nabigay mo yung concentration ng tetrahydrocannabinol and your CBD or cannabidiol, and then it's registered sa DOH, so it is certified by a qualified physician as medical cannabis. So let's show you some. So medical marijuana can also be seen in this way, or it may refer to the three forms in which your cannabinoid support. This is the endocannabinoids, internally marijuana that you're producing. Okay? You have your anandamide and your 2-AG. Hirap basahin kasi dito. And you have also yung phytocannabinoids. Phytocannabinoids are external cannabinoids. They come from the outside. And the word phyto means plant, coming from the plant. And you can have over 113 substances of that. And basically, the more important ingredients that you find there is again THC, yan yung nakaka-high, and then yung cannabidiol, it is a non-psychoactive ingredient. And then you have now what you call synthetic cannabinoids. Aside from the genetically engineered cannabis, it can be synthesized. Hindi na sa plant, or chemical science can be synthesized. Okay? And this is where a lot of danger comes from also. Okay. So basically, yung endocannabinoids, they have some central role of balancing your things. So like for example, kanina na-mention nga, stress. You get stressed. What happens when you're stressed, highly stressed, in the past is you increase your cortisol level sa katawan, cortisol level. And then, on the second time you get stressed, your cortisol level also increase. Together with that, yung endocannabinoids mo, modulate yung stress mo, also increases. And increases on the second time. But, very clever yung endocannabinoids mo. On the third time you get on that stress, it helps learning. Tataas na yung endocannabinoids mo without the cortisol increasing. So, important role in learning, important role in memory, and addiction and appetite. So, nagbabalance siya yung ginagawa. I think siguro yun na lang kasi masyadong technical, Okay? And it operates because let's say, your anandamide, yung naturally occurring substance mo in THC, is very similar to the drug, cannabis, THC. Kaya pareho. Parang susi kasi, it's a key that unlocks many things. So because similar sila, okay, it will downregulate yung production mo ng endocannabinoids, internal. But you now rely on external cannabinoids, cannabis. Okay? Well, the phytocannabinoids, again, tetrahydrocannabinol is the most ingredient that you want. It produces mild euphoria, relaxation, perceptual distortion, time distortion, intensification of ordinary experiences like eating, listening, music, engaging in sex, watching film. So dati nun, ang sabi nila, doon sa mga nagmamarihuana, you have the holy three. Holy three. Tatlo, yung pinakamagustong-gusto nilang tama. Those who are using it for recreational. And this is basically music, sarap makinig sa music, no? Eating, sarap kumain, no? Your own cannabis, no? And then sex. Ngayon, may apat na, no? Meron na siyang watching Netflix. O, yan lang masarap, no? Okay? Okay. And, but in many cases, not all cases, in some, dito, rare, few experience, you can have dysphoria, a very bad feeling about it when you use it. You can get anxiety and even acute psychosis or paranoia. Parang nakatingin lahat ng tao sa'yo, parang huhulihin ka, parang dadamputin. No? This one. And this is closely related to the potency of the THC that you will get. No? Like I said, the varieties that are coming now are not the varieties that I had during high school. Walang kwenta yung mga variety during high school. Hindi ako naging drug addict. Pero the varieties now are really very potent. Cannabinoids is non-intoxicating cannabinoids. Wala. And this is the mechanism of action we don't know a little, we know so little about. But FDA has approved, FDA ng US has approved it for treatment ng epilepsy. The kind of epilepsy that is resistant to other forms of treatment. No? And you have Dravet syndrome and Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. And the medicine there is yung Epidiolex. FDA approved. Okay? Wala tayo dito kasi illegal pa ang marijuana sa atin. But there are provisions in the law where you can apply for a compassionate use ng drugs na yun. And you can have that. Okay? Well, there is also FDA-approved CBD derivatives from cannabis sativa. Okay. CBD derived from cannabis sativa, no high pala. Okay. Okay. So, the